Hello and welcome to Frag Addiction. My name is Tanya, and today I'd like to talk about Chanel No. 5, the fragrance line, and Eau de Parfum in particular, because it's the only version I own at the moment, and I know it really well. Chanel No. 5 doesn't really need an introduction. It's a definition of classic right now in the 21st century. So let's look at the modern presentation of a bottle that was made in 2023. Let's run through the history. The famous Chanel No. 5 is still currently one of the best-selling perfumes in the world right now. The Coco Gabrielle Chanel asked the perfume designer Ernest Beau to create a perfume which smells like a woman. This is what she wanted to be. It is a very complex fragrance which does not allow any of the fragrant components to be isolated out from the composition. Nothing sticks out. It was exactly that request of the great Gabrielle Chanel that she wanted. The perfume should not smell like a rose or a lily of the valley. It has to be a separate fragrance composition that you presume like a whole thing. Of course, at that time in the 20s, the perfume in the 20th century, 20s and 20th century, perfume became famous thanks to many celebrities who wore it. And later on, the most famous was Marilyn Monroe, of course. In 1954 interview, she said that she goes to bed only with some drops of Chanel No. 5 on her. And that statement became a superb advertising slogan throughout like all the 20th century. I think everybody heard about it. And the reason that millions of women around the world chose this perfume over and over. And I think it is considered the most popular perfume throughout 20th century as a whole. Ernest Beau created 2 series of perfume samples at that time, numbered 1 through 5, and 20 and 24. I don't know why. And asked Coco Chanel to choose one of them, and she chose exactly No. 5 sample, and that's why it is called Chanel No. 5. Superstitious Chanel presented her new perfume on the 5th day of the 5th month in 1921. This is how she was. And Ernest Beau, working on this craft, created the first time was using aldehydes, like a special synthetic component at that time. I believe aldehydes were used in a very little amounts before. So in this perfume in particular, there's a load of aldehydes in the top, accompanied with other notes like rose and jasmine. The fragrance of aldehydes in particular, that material is pure and fresh and reminds of the smell of clean linen just brought in the house from the fresh frosty air. And it's kind of soapy. It is said that Ernest Beau drew his inspiration for the creation of Chanel No. 5 from his visits to Arctic Circle, and the smell of the water in midnight that is frozen, the unique smell of frozen lakes and rivers. He really wanted to get it in the inspiration from that. It is considered the first abstract fragrance. The fragrance is floral aldehydic. The top notes are composed of aldehydes, bergamot, lemon, neroli, ylang ylang. The heart notes are jasmine, rose, lily of the valley, and iris, while the base is created of vetiver, sandalwood, vanilla, amber, and patchouli. The first bottle that was used in the Chanel No. 5 fragrance was just a rectangular with a top which resembled Place Vendôme in Paris. The first bottle was designed, they say, by Chanel herself and represented classical principle, less is more. So the Eau de Parfum version was created in 1986 by Jacques Polch. It's the version I have, but I believe it was redone. This is a new formula, so I don't know if the notes are the same, so probably they're very close. This is what it says on the official website. Of course, it's aldehyde fragrance for women. The top notes are aldehydes, ylang ylang, neroli, bergamot, and peach. I don't really smell peach in it at all. The middle notes are listed as iris, jasmine, May rose, and lily of the valley. Base notes are here sandalwood, bourbon vanilla. That is a little, I would say yes, that it is pronounced. Oak moss, patchouli, and vetiver. And according to the permit, it is still the same from 1986, but I kind of doubt it. I doubt it. Maybe they even reformulated it multiple times since back then because of the restrictions that come out every other year. For example, I smell here predominantly in the start aldehydes, of course, and they're more citrusy and soapy than that I feel like I remember what was in the 90s, for example. This is very clean in the start. And then the ylang ylang kind of wakes up for me with that jasmine and neroli mixed up. It is a very deep, distinct floral. So this heavy floral fragrance for the real floral lover. I can't really smell the rose here or peach. I don't know why. Even though a lot of girls really like because of this rose note. It kind of mixes up with patchouli and makes that Chanel signature. But I don't smell rose here. I smell patchouli, of course. Oak moss, vetiver, and patchouli are totally detected here. Vanilla is prominent in the base, but it's almost it's very, very transparent. It's kind of in a deep dry down. On my skin, personally, this smells amazing. And I absolutely love the trails, like of the Eau de Parfum. But you need to be really careful. Girls, you have to try all the Chanel's number 5 on your skin. Maybe with the exception of L'Eau. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But this one, it can show some tricks. On some people, it kind of does smell like an old lady, like we're all scared of. I'm not joking. Even on some young girls, it does smell like an old lady. I don't know. There's something in the formula. Even though the new formula that is out right now is not as dangerous because they changed those aldehydes to the new kind of aldehydes, I think, or just maybe added some new variations of them. I don't know. But still, sometimes there are fails with this fragrance. You have to try it on your skin. And you have to really like florals to wear Chanel number 5. Yeah, because it is quite heavy in the heart and can definitely cause headaches for the sensitive girls who have migraines or something like that, especially if you put it really close to your face. It's not... The second thing, it's not the very versatile fragrance. You have to think where you're going that day to wear Eau de Parfum. But it is a long lasting. It lasts about 6 hours, sometimes more, projects for an hour or 2. It depends on the weather. After about 2 hours, it is a skin scent and it's very safe. But in clothes, it stays potentially weeks. It is very, very bright. The Parfum we're talking about now, we're going to talk about other versions. The Parfum is obviously just a little oil dabber. They say the newer formulation of Parfum is much less long-lasting. I don't know if it's true. I don't have it. But I remember it from back in the day. It was just nuclear. But the scent is still lovely. And I guess it's still worth purchasing if you like that, like if you like all over that feeling of bouginess when you open that little bottle and then dab yourself with couple drops and maybe walk around the house and be happy because it won't project as much. The Parfum kind of stays close to your skin. It's more for the wearer. As for the other flankers, I'll tell you only about the most that are available right now. I didn't try the Red Eau version, and obviously I don't own Extrait that is listed for $3.5 grand at the website. I have no idea. But the most pop star version, the most popular, and I think it's the most versatile, is Eau Premiere. It came out in 2008. The nose is also Jacques Polge. It is in-house perfumer, and there was a reformulation in 2015. I didn't smell maybe I probably smelled the original 2008 formula, but I have no idea now. I don't remember that. So about the new formula, it is a little kind of rose patchouli combo underlined there. That Chanel signature is more pronounced. Smells very easy. very easy to wear, and kind of layered over that rose patchouli smell. It's layered over the number 5 DNA. It turned out to be, I mean, it is much easier to blind buy that version. And I feel like, yeah, it's like a no-brainer version for a girl who likes Chanel overall. It has that signature style of Chanel fragrances. It kind of even reminds me of Coco Mademoiselle. And it has vanilla that is more pronounced, by the way. And I really like that version, but I feel like it's the least Chanel number 5. I was not even impressed recently when I retested it. I feel like it's not that necessary right now, but of course, it's more mass appealing for everybody. Kind of less unique, but more mass appealing. You'll probably have more compliments potentially than from this kind of version. If you want to make a gift to a loved one, a lady in your life, for example, instead of Coco Mademoiselle, she already has like your mom or your girl. You can definitely get that, and she probably will be happy. The next version, Eau de Chanel number 5. And I love it. It is the lightest version of them all, but the aroma is personally for me is as good as the modern EDT version, Eau de Toilette, but it's totally different, of course. It was composed by Olivier Polsch, launched in fall 2016, so I think it's one of the latest versions. They say he worked on it for 3 years. And the opening of that fragrance for me is kind of to die for. It's a mix of mandarin and lemon and orange oil. I love citrus fragrances overall. I wish they stayed longer on me. So whenever there is an amazing, good quality citrus fragrance or a citrus opening, it kind of blows my socks off. So I was very impressed by L'Eau, and the new version in particular is very bright. And after that blast of opening, the L'Eau, it kind of has a faint number 5 DNA, and it has more musky and woody base, very gentle. I'd say is the least number 5 from all. It is very, very light. And if money is not a question for you, and you have, for example, a teen or a tween daughter even, and she really is interested in fragrances or something like that, just give her Eau de Chanel number 5 for her birthday, and maybe she'll stop wearing Ariana Grande or Billie Eilish for at least a day. I'm not against Ariana Grande fragrances. In fact, Cloud, the first and the second one is actually great. But Eau de Chanel number 5 will definitely support her luxury experience in a very elegant way, and probably educate her into a good taste from young years of your little princess. The Eau de Chanel number 5 has like a sweet lemonade touch to it. It lasts maybe 2 to 3 hours. Projects 20 or 30 minutes, not much. but I really want to get it anyways because I really like the smell of it. I can't really justify the price at all. And I have way too many bottles to use. The next version is Eau de Toilette. And it is the second brightest version after Eau de Parfum that is on the market right now. And the freshness of the Eau de Toilette is no joke. It is a very long lasting, and there is definitely some new kind of aroma chemicals added, no joke. Soapy, kind of out of the shower blast, but it doesn't have that much of those heavy, thick florals that are present in Eau de Parfum. Ylang Ylang there is subdued, yeah. If you like to feel fresh as long as possible when you step out of the shower, I mean, the Eau de Toilette is probably a no-brainer, and it projects very good for about 2 to 3 hours. I'd say they project maybe even, I think even Eau de Toilette even more projects than Eau de Parfum. And it lasts that freshness for much longer than the Eau de Parfum. It is a sparkling freshness. It feels like there's a little ambroxan added. I don't know if it's true. Probably. And that version is totally on my list. And we came to the musical associations. I love it so much. Yeah. I remember Disney Snow White cleaning up in the dwarf's house. She sings with birds. These birds are doubling up her bel canto vocals that are represented by Ylang Ylang. And the birds are kind of aldehydes around for me. I don't know. It is super neat and classic and very low key at the same time, casual, if you like this profile. Then the little dwarfs men start whistling around and marching up home. That's patchouli and vetiver give those deeper woody notes to the composition. But this totally smells like Snow White. I smell Snow White, and then I kind of think she would love it. It is very positive and super feminine fragrance. But they say now some guys like to wear it, and I kind of don't imagine this. Maybe you try. You tell me a story. Try to wear. Maybe Eau de Parfum would be better for men. It is woody after all. By the way, I have a personal story about Chanel number 5. I think like everybody that is more than 30 years old has. Eau de Parfum is the closest probably to the vintage versions that I smelled as a kid in the 90s. My mom had a tiny small Eau de Parfum bottle dabber in a little cute white case. And I smelled, of course, the other kinds of versions. I think there was only Eau de Toilette or Eau de Parfum available at the moment, and those Parfum versions too, on a lot of ladies in my childhood. And I despised it. I hated it with whole heart. Even my mom didn't really like it. She maybe wore it a couple times. Her signature fragrance at that time was Dune by Dior. I didn't really like that one too, but Chanel number 5, I totally hated. I played Barbies with that little bottle of Chanel Eau de Parfum. And I occasionally opened it like throughout the game and put it on my imaginary play set of the bathtub in the Barbie house, imaginary Barbie house. There is a hilarious French movie with Jean Reno and Christian Clavier called The Visitors. And in one of the scenes, Jean Reno character is pouring a humongous bottle of Chanel number 5 into the bathtub. And drinking it and flushing his teeth, and it says itself, it smells great. And I love to play that thing with my Barbies and with my friends. It was so funny. So I imagined that miniature Chanel number 5 pouring out in the bathtub. It was just so funny with like to make up this scene with my friends. That's my first remembering of that fragrance. And obvious at that time, some of like older ladies loved this juice, and I associated it with old ladies of that time. And nothing really changed much these days, I think. Some people still relate this fragrance to the old ladies. Like you all assume, I knew particularly this smell from the young years. So I could recognize it every time in the air. But once upon a time, my friend's sister came by and she smelled like heaven. I was like, I asked her what was on her, and she admitted it was Chanel number 5. That smelled divine on her. She smelled more of a it was more of a jasmine note than anything else, and super fresh citruses. And that's how I kind of cleared up my prejudices about Chanel number 5. So I dare you to try, ladies and men. This is very interesting juice. Nowadays, I think there's no really need to hunt the vintages of Chanel from the olden days. Just get the Eau de Parfum version. It is vintage enough. Or get the oil dabber. The oil is still very expensive and super bougie, and probably will be as expensive as one of those vintage bottles from the 90s. And it's still, like at that days, has to be tested on skin. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe and hit notification bell if you like my stories, and share your thoughts, share your comments down below, and maybe you have your own experiences with Chanel number 5. See you soon. Goodbye.